We are having 3 more seconds to begin the session. A very good evening, one and all present here. I'm happy to welcome each one of you for today's webinar session. And today I'm going to speak about dementia, a road without signal. The topic I'm going to discuss with you. I hope you will enjoy my session. And I found that it is very difficult to cover all the components of dementia within a session. So I'm going to make it in part 1 and part 2. So today I'm going to make it in part 1. So I would like to take another 40 minutes with you. With that 40 minutes, just I'm going to explore the different facts about dementia, and we will get an clarity and awareness about dementia, whether we can understand that and what are the things we need to know. And all those information, as a person, what are the information needed for me? As a professional, as a person who were affected in my family or in my society, in my community, how I can help them. So these were the things I kept in my mind. I prepared my presentation. And another 40 minutes I'm going to share with you as a part 1. And part 2, I'm going to have a dedicated session for the second component about, I found that the types of dementia alone, it goes around 11 to 12 types. And practically, it is not possible to cover all the components in one session. So that's why I'm going to have a few more sessions about those things. I got a curiosity to know further about the different types of dementia also. With that, I welcome the today's speaker, that is me, myself, and also the participants over here. Welcome for today's webinar session. It is our 308th webinar session, and it is an initiative taken to promote and create awareness about health and well-being, especially for mental health. And that is the idea we had and we started, and I will share my presentation with you. And if you have any questions and would you like to speak with me, just type in the chat box. I will address you in between also. I hope you can able to see my screen. Yes, if you can able to see me, please someone let me know. Yes, okay. Yes, thank you. Thank you. And, thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay. Just will begin. And before going into that further slide, I would like to ask a question. The basic question regarding the dementia. Have you ever seen dementia patients in your life? Have you ever seen? If so, what is the age of that person? Anyone, you can just text me and unmute yourself and give me the answer now. Have you ever heard the term dementia, or if you come across any person with dementia? Okay, 80, my grandfather. Okay, lovely, from Visalma. Okay.
So it was 62. My father-in-law, he's no more now. He started with the symptoms of dementia and quickly progressed, and we lost him now.
Okay.
So I would say it is 62, sir.
62. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Chandra, for the information. And I think I can say he forgets all the things. Great, great. And my question is, will it be, I think here we are on 2 examples. One is about 60, 65, and another one is saying that 80, 95. Have you ever heard this dementia at the age of 30? Anyone? Have you ever heard, is it possible for to have a dementia at the age of 30 years? And many of us, I can say that we may not aware about it. And one interesting thing is, it progresses. We all thought that it is for elderly population. That's why I given symbolically here. And most of us believe that dementia is for elderly only, the picture itself. And most of us in my presentation also I included. But sad reality is it can affect at any age. At any age. The number of persons who had affected with dementia 30 plus may be less in number, but it doesn't mean that a person below 68 may not have the dementia. Yes, they can also have the dementia. And just I will begin my presentation. It is about me. At presently, I'm heading the Department of Psychology, American College, and I'm having my own research center, Red Pond Education Psychology Research Center. I'm the director, and Dr. Chandra is the research coordinator for that. And I'm very curious to know that recent advancement in behavioral sciences. This is about me. And I make a disclaimer here. The text and the diagrams, most of the things I taken from the reliable sources, and I given due importance to all the references at the end of my presentation. And sometimes if you come to know that there is no due recognition was not given to anything, just let me know. I try to incorporate it. With that note, I can begin this. The dementia, I think you all know that is given that actually it's not a single forgetfulness alone. And many of us, we had an understanding that dementia is unforgetfulness. But dementia is general term for loss of memory. It is a general term. Understand that it is a holistic term. Loss of memory, loss of language. The person who may excel or do better in language, in communication, but after this, they may not do better. Okay. And the problem solving skills comes down, and they may have the thinking, their thinking ability, critical thinking and creative thinking also comes down. And with it, these loss of these four components, it interfere with the daily life activities and severely affect their daily activities, and they cannot do that daily activity. So it is a common general term. You can understand that it has more subcomponents. And when we discuss about, when you hear about dementia, there is another term which comes in our mind. That is an Alzheimer. Alzheimer is another term. And we have to understand that Alzheimer is a part of dementia. And even I would like to admit here, before doing a research and preparing, I too thought that these two are different. But both are related to forgetting and memory related component. But I come to know that Alzheimer is one of the component of dementia. One of the types of dementia. Okay, with that we will begin. And I would like to add some other facts related to dementia. One new cases of dementia is diagnosed every 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now there is one person who are diagnosed as a dementia patient. Every 4 seconds. Think about that. How many number of people are affected with these things? And many of us, we are not giving importance to these component. And the impact is huge. That's why when you look at that World Health Organization mostly focusing on endemic and pandemic and epidemic. These are the components they are focusing, and they are trying to provide scientific support to that country who need of it. But when it comes to the mental health component, they are not giving much importance to other components like depression, and dementia is the second leading important web page they are having in the World Health Organization. They know that the impact it is going to make in the society. And when you look at the Japan, the number of elderly population more than that young population. But when you take up the Indian context, in India, the number of youngsters are more in numbers. But it doesn't mean that we are going to be young for all the time. No. Another 30 years, when you look at the number of old population will be very high. These population, young population going to become an elderly population, and they have this kind of problem. And if we are not planned at this time, I can say at this point of time, if we miss to plan, and definitely we are going to face a very big crisis in future. And another point is that it is estimated that 50 million people are worldwide at that time. We estimated 50 million people are affected because of dementia. And the dementia most affects older people. As I said in the beginning itself, I admitted it mostly affects older people, but it's not normal part of aging. Many people think that it is when we attain an age of 60 plus, it must be there for dementia. No, it's not a part of aging. But most of the people who are affected are old people. And I made a note in the beginning itself. Nowadays, there are many studies were found that these dementia cases were found 30 plus also. 30 years plus also they found. And there are Nearly 10 million new cases every year, and this number may increase in coming years. 10 million, already 50 million people are affected dementia, and 10 million people are accounted in that number, and in future this number may increase. And Alzheimer is the most common form of dementia. And dementia has on different forms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are different forms of other. Among that one, Alzheimer is the most leading type of dementia that contributes 60 to 70% of dementia patients. If you take in a time, you found that there are 100 people are there. Among the 100 people who were having the dementia problem, in that dementia, Alzheimer dementia is 70 to 80%. 60 to 70% of population comes under that category. And we'll move on to that. As I earlier said, the disability. When if I'm not do, yes, sir, Sukumar sir, I will include all the subcomponents. It is there 12 types. I'm going to give it in each introduction only, as I said in the beginning itself, and definitely I will include those. Dementia is one of the major cause for disability and dependency among the older people worldwide. And you all know that when the person depends on others, the person will be, you know that the problem they are facing. When we are independent, we may not have any problem at all. But when we depend on somebody else, and definitely we will face many problems. And dementia that makes such a things. Dementia as an see here, physical impact on physical, or psychological, social, and economic. It has an impact not only the person who were affected. For example, we know that these are the dementia affected with the aged people. It affects the physical and psychological and social and economic. It affects that those who are carer, the children's. Okay, my father is on dementia, and it's I have to spend money for him. I have to take care of him, and I need to recruit one of the carer for my members and my family members, and at the society at large. Think about it in a community. More number of dementia patients are there. There is a more economical support to be given to them. So it affects many components. Not only affects the person who had a dementia, the person in the family members, the person in the society also affects. If it is a person in the society who doesn't know what is going around him, and it will cause other people also. Okay, and that's why they said that again, because the issue need to be addressed. WHO website is said. And now I'm going to give that what are the common symptoms. For example, when you see someone is very happy and they will smile and they will be more energetic. These are the symptoms we can find out. Likewise, when you see that, when you want to say the person having the dementia, what are the common symptoms we can see? And these were the common symptoms. One is a recent memory loss. I can say most of them when we are using technology, like mobile phone, we are having that memory loss. Even I can say that after 1 hour of lecture or after 1 hour of attending the lecture, can you recollect that how many informations you remember? Most of the people yes, we are also having that memory loss, but they are this kind of thing very continuously. They know consciously, yes, they are forgetting it, and difficulty in completing the familiar task, and they know that these tasks to be done. They can very good in that, but they may have the difficulty in those components. And problem in communicating. And I can say there are many people not having that adequate communication skills. Not said by me. When you look at that employability skills, so one of the core employability skills is on communication. And even that normal people are having the difficulty in communicating. And these people think about it. If you are not properly communicating, and miscommunication will lead to many chaos and disorientation. Why we started here and why we are here, and this kind of thing we can find out in a person. And problem with abstract thinking, it's very important thing for solving the problem and making the decisions. And if there is a problem in it and we cannot make that fruitful effort, the effectiveness will be comes down. And the problem misplacing things, and they may forget. I don't know. I kept it here only. They says it. I can see even instant after having that problem. And mood changes, sudden changes of mood from that here to, so the big changes we can see, and personality changes. And they say that I know him, he's very good, but now I can see something there that personality, and wider personality we can also see, and loss of initiative. They may not take that initiation to the work. So these are the common problems when you look at that, when you can see. And now I'm going to look into that. These symptoms alone, I'm going to give in a different mark. You can see here. Recent memory loss. Recent memory loss is sign of they have that same kind of question they will ask you. I think you may have encountered this kind of experiences when you visit somebody in a family or old age people, and they are having, and they are people of dementia. They will say that, okay, how are you? They will ask you in the beginning itself when they were starting the communication. After a few minutes, and they will say that, how are you? And you wonder, I just now answered again, he is asking, why this person is asking? And these things we can see. And whenever, when you look at the people with the dementia, we can see, I'm doing the common symptom. They have the difficulty in completing the familiar task. Example, making a drink, or cooking a meal, or writing something, as I said earlier, is a common symptom we can see. Communication, yes, forget the simple words. They think about, even now we are having a difficulty. I don't know what is the appropriate word for using it. And when we had an interaction with one of my renowned psychiatrists, sir, I don't know the exact word for that. These kind of things may not get. They may not get it. And they use wrong words. They thought it isn't right. And this orientation, they are getting lost on the previous, and they know that, okay, this is the way we know. I had an encounter yesterday. Yesterday, I went to purchase something in that shop, where I know that when I take when I go a right turn, and then I reach that main road. But when I take an instead of that first right, I took the second right. It takes me somewhere else. I never explored those area, and I asked them that people in that street, there is a main road. Where it is? They told me that no, you are not. I mean, you are in a parallel road. I never explored, and I explored. So even for normal people, we are. I claim that I am a normal. I'm having the problem. Think about that person who having already problem. So these are another biggest problem the dementia people may have, and people with the abstract thinking for instant money. I don't know. Two plus, they may ask you, they may give excess money, or they may give less money for the purchase they have made. And when they were reading something, these kind of confusions may find it, and they misplace most of the things. You know, they may, no, I kept it here only. So these kind of thoughts is there, and mood changes, sudden and unexplained changes outlook. This person is there, and personality, as I said, irritable. They get more irritable. Sometimes they are more fearful. We are not going, no, I'm fear about something that may happen to me. Suspicion about, I think we can say it is one of the common problems for paranoia, and they suspect about everything. Why he are here? And they will not show any interest for doing any kind of activity, for even for daily activity. These are the common symptoms. Now, I'm making and another perspective, we may have that intensity of the dementia. Okay, for example, if I get into some problem or disorder or some disease, just imagine that. And it may have the initial stage, middle stage, and the later stage. Likewise, dementia also, it affects a different way. You cannot say that it will affect the same kind of way to all the people. If you believe that and you are having that wrong understanding about dementia of one person and dementia of another person is totally different. And it may be due to that when they were getting to this problem. And early stage, the symptoms and the other components will be totally different. And middle stage, we can able to, and most of the time you can say in India, I can say more specifically, we have the tendency when we are having the problem, it is a bigger one. Later stage only will meet that, we will seek the support. And we try to save the money, but in reality, we have to understand that we are not spending quality time for taking care of ourselves in the beginning stage itself. Most of the time, they will say that, for example, someone who met an accident, you can see in most of the movie scenes also. If you bring him at early time, we may save the life. These are the statements we can hear from most of the doctors. Likewise, here also in dementia, we can able to save, we can able to make better life to the people who are getting dementia. The beginning when we identify it. Okay. So what are the common symptoms when you can see in the early stages of dementia? First, I given the common symptom, common problem, common signs of dementia. If it is an early stage, the common three things. One is they will forget commonly. Okay, how frequently they are doing it, and we have to understand that if I forget only one time, that doesn't mean that I am an early stage of dementia. You have to see that frequency. Frequently, when you look at this kind of thing, then you can name it. And losing track of they may not be able to follow the time, and they may fix in the beginning. Okay, the gradual things you can see gradually increasing. Okay, the one thing and two, three, these kind of things may happen. They forget the familiar places. They may visit the place, they may familiar to them, and they will say that it's very new to me. They say that it is very, I never explored here. So this kind of statement they will make it, and you can understand that it is an early sign. As I said, 30 plus onward it starts. And the middle stage, what are the symptoms we can find out? And it is a progressive. At the earlier stage, we can see it is an initiation, and when the progressive, it will lead to middle stage. And we can see very clear symptoms here, and it is a very restricting our day-to-day activities, our life activities. Yes, very true, Dr. Chandra. They forget the one family members. They forgetful about recent events and people names. And I can say one of the experience when I met my Periyappa, we can say uncle in English, but it is named Periyappa, means brother of my father, elder brother. He is very fond of calling. And when I look at, he is looking at me, he is asking what's your name. See this kind of clear, kind of forgetful, and they forget the name and even. So this is the way they will reclaim. So this is unclear, and we can able to understand. And they lost the home. I don't know. There was recently one movie coming, and they forgot how to reach the home. And another thing, they having the increasing difficulty with communication, and they are okay Kanmani. Yes, thank you for that. Okay Kanmani movie. They are best example for the person. He will stop in between, and someone will ask them, "Why are you here? I don't know how to reach my home." And they cannot able to communicate properly. As I said, the common symptoms, where they have that they may use, they thought that the particular word they are using, they are communicating properly, but actually they are using wrong words, and it gives miscommunication to the people. And for this stage, middle stage, they need a support. We know that, okay, my father having some problem, and we need, that's why that family members and the other members, okay, can I support you, can I come to you, this kind of thing, they will not allow them to drive. And experiencing some behavioral changes, like they will wander here and there, repeated questions we can see. The behavioral changes we have to notice. The clear behavioral changes, like they move here and there, the same street they will walk again and again, they will walk, and they repeat the questions again and again. So this is the middle stage, and we'll move on to the late stage. As I said, dementia has a common symptoms, and in the beginning stage and the middle stage and the late stage, when it is progressive, the dementia is progressive. The late stage, mostly, as I said, we Indians, including me, I'm saying that including me, we used to make that we will get that professional help only at the late stage. And you can see when a person in any person in the family, they need an dependence and inactive in their activities. Mostly they will be very idle in the face. Memory disturbance will be very serious in the person. It is the best physical signs we can able to see in a person who is having the dementia. I'll give some of the late stage, last stage, I can say, late stage symptoms of dementia. They are unaware of time. What is the time and the place of it? And they will be there, and they thought that it may be on morning 6, and they may forget it. Okay, what is the time now? So, and they may, in a place, they will ask them, where am I? They may start it in a place, and they will be reached there, and after reaching, they may forget it, why I came here, and this kind of thing you can see. And having the difficulty in recognizing relative and friends, as I said, it was there. Yes, as Dr. Chandra said, ignorance. Yes. Here, they cannot be able to recognize all many people. As I said, I'm the only person when my uncle not able to identify me. Most of the people in that relatives who were known to them and more familiar to them, they cannot be able to remember them. They cannot. They have the difficulty in recognizing them, and they having that an increasing need for assisted self-care. Yes, as I said, when the spectrum of intensity of the problem, when you look at any kind of clinical diagnosis, they can say that no, mild, moderate, and severe. These are, we can see here then no, mild, moderate, and severe. And here the severe kind of people, they need a support from any person from the family members or the professional like nurse or the supportive people they need it. And they are having a difficulty in walking also. Yes. And the age is one of the factors, as I say, and experiencing behavioral changes is escalating very high among the people. Yes, they walk most of the time as Dr. Chandra. Yes. What are the changes we can see in dementia cases? And I given that the statistics about the dementia, which made impact on physical, emotional, social, cultural, and financial. And there are different components we see. Every 4 seconds, there is one person who are diagnosed as on dementia, and India is the country in another 30 years. And we can see more population may have this kind of problem. And unless we are making the policy right now, we are going to face very huge crisis, I can say, as per my prediction. And we can see some of the changes, cognitive and another one is physical, psychological changes. What are the cognitive changes we can see in a person who were affected memory loss, usually which is noticed by the family members, the spouse or someone in the family members will say that, and difficulty in communicating, the finding the right word for that, and difficult with visual and spatial abilities. And they may think that, for example, holding someone is there near me, someone, and these spatial ability, spatial intelligence, there's a problem. That's why when they were driving, they thought that most of the cases they may face it. They may not follow the signals and difficulties reasoning and problem solving, cognition again, higher order component. They cannot able to handle the complex tasks. When you assign them, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they, when you say 5, they forgot. And they have the difficulty in planning and organizing. Really, they may be very well in executing the family function, any kind of thing, and they have the problem in those components also, and difficulty in coordinating and motor functions. Confusion and disorientation, these are the cognitive changes we can see. Cognitive changes. And you can see what are the psychological changes we can see in a person who were affected with dementia. The personality change. Oh, I know him. Sometimes you may hear the word. I know him. He's not a him. Someone is infused, and then we can use any kind of words. Depression. When they were more depressed, they are anxious, and inappropriate behavior they will exhibit. Paranoia, they suspect themselves and others in the family, and that many problems like that. And agitation, irritation will be there. Hallucination also may happen sometime in the dementia cases. And now I hope you are very clear about, now we can able to understand that. I can give easiest way you can able to understand. I given that common symptoms. Common symptoms, you keep in those common symptoms. I given that 10 symptoms. If we found 6 symptoms in a person, and you can say that this person definitely may have that 6. And because we may differ in that our perspective. For example, memory loss means frequently I lost my memory. Visual people, yes. And hallucination is they think about someone is there, someone is in front of them. Yes, yes, Dr. Chandra. And these were the thing you can understand that when you see 60% of the problem, if your person having that, you can say that you can say this person having the problem need to be addressed immediately. And when you get on professional help in the beginning stage, and you can able to provide better facility to the person who is having the problem. And here we can go. The classification is that no, mild, moderate, and severe. The dementia also roughly we can split into 4 types, and there is another classification also: mild cognitive impairment, mild dementia, moderate dementia, and severe dementia. This is one classification. As I said, there is no one. When you look at the standard classifications given by DSM or ICD or some of the researchers who are working on dementia alone, they given that this is one of the classifications, mild cognitive impairment. And I will talk about that another classification also after this four explanation. What we can see, a person who is having that mild cognitive impairment, generally it is on forgetfulness. I think most of the time we forgetfulness. And it is the only thing, it is an progressive for, it is a symptom, it is an indication for the person who is in the diagnosis. We can predict that it is the person may progress to the dementia. The mild cognitive impairment progress to that mild dementia. Okay. When the person having that mild dementia, they are having that cognitive, as I said, cognitive and psychological symptoms. And we can see occasionally impacted life. Understand that mild dementia means occasionally, not frequent. Memory loss, confusion, personality change, getting lost, difficulty in planning. Yes, irreversible condition. Yes, that's in final stage. Irreversible is in final stage. We cannot able to make any change, but we can say severe stage. And if it comes on ID, intellectual disability, what we can say, it is an profound, we can say, but here different. In moderate stage, you can see what are the things. You can see the moderate dementia in our daily life, more challenging will be faced by the person who is having that moderate dementia. They need more help from their family member. They need a support. They need a support. So think about it. I'm an elderly person, or I'm the person who is 40 plus, I'm having the dementia. And in this stage, I need a support. I need someone. And if I'm not having that financially wealthy, if I'm not give some money to the person who is taking care of it, and definitely it is a very difficult thing for the person and for the family members. Symptoms are similar to mild, what we have seen in that mild, same thing will be, but the dose will be increased. Sometimes when you go and meet the doctor for the problem, and they will give that 100 mg, and you say that how it is whether it is working, you say no, and they may increase the dose. Okay, and here individuals may need help, and for dressing also they need someone support for them. They know significant changes in the personality, and suspicious and agitations will be very common in that moderate dementia. And there is a high chances are there sleep disturbances also. We will know that severe dementia patients, what are the things we can see. At this stage, it is a final stage. They may lose the ability to communicate, they may be little, most of the time they may not communicate, and need full-time care. In the period, I can irreversible. This is the time we need more support. Most of them, there is a support need to be there. And even for simple tasks, sitting and holding something, they need very difficult for the person who is having severe dementia. And urinate in the bed itself. This is a common problem, and young people, they may not take it helping the people who were affected. And another, as I said in the beginning, there are another classifications also there. No impairment, questionable impairment, mild impairment, moderate to severe impairment, and very severe impairment. It is another classification. In this way, there are many classifications there for dementia. So with that, I can start for the part one of dementia. I hope my inputs, my research things will be useful for you to understand the concept. And if you have any questions, please let me know. And I'll continue to present that remaining content in that second part. Okay, it is about, if I think, ask me that if you are available another 10 minutes, I will go for the types also. Is it okay? Can you take another 10 minutes? Okay, I think there are some inputs. I will take another 10 minutes for introducing the types alone. There are interesting classifications are there. And as I said, here is an umbrella for dementia, loss of memory and overthinking, interfering that influence our daily activity. Alzheimer, as I said, 60 to 80% of dementia, they comes under Alzheimer's. And Lewy body dementia is in second 5 to 10%, vascular dementia, pre-temporal dementia, and other will be other numbers. And mixed dementia will be there. You can see Alzheimer's low. These combinations also will be there in a person. These are classifications. And as I said, we are having more time we need to discuss about it. And you see that and the dementia can be classified into progressive dementia and other disorder which is linked to dementia. One is about Alzheimer, vascular, Lewy body dementia, frontal temporal dementia, mixed dementia, like other Huntington and traumatic brain injury, BI, and Jacob disease, Parkinson disease, Wernicke. There's an area in our brain called Cope syndrome. There's an area in our brain that were affected and which is influenced, important cause for the dementia. And Alzheimer. And as I said, it is on one slide I try to put it because this Alzheimer alone, we need more number of slides to understand the concept. The most common cause for dementia is an Alzheimer. And not all the causes of Alzheimer disease is known. And we cannot able to give that valid reason. These are one of the things cause for that Alzheimer. A small percentage are related to mutation of 3 genes. They found that some other researchers who have done, they found that there is a gene in our thing that mutated and it is a cause for Alzheimer. And which is passed from that. For example, if my father is on dementia, there is a high chances are there for me also and for my offspring also. There are high chances, and for that there are 3 genes were mutated and it transferred to one generation to another generation. And and they found that E4. Okay, E4 is an gene, and they also have that medical term here. I'm going to use black and tangles in their brains. And what is black? It is like a protein called beta amyloid, which is there in our brain that cause Alzheimer. And another one is again tangles. It is a fibrous. It is like a fibrous root-like structure will be there, which made up of dark protein. That also causes Alzheimer. And these neuron fibrous connections are an important cause for Alzheimer. And if there is a problem in these brain component, we can able to understand that the person may have it. And then we are having that now advanced technology to diagnose this Alzheimer disease. And genetic factors is very, very important. And now there is one friend, recently I was attended one of the conference where a researcher from India who is working in Japan, Tokyo University, and he found that restructuring that, for example, in psychology, we can say that cognitive restructuring. What they are doing, they are genetic restructuring, genetic engineering, where they are replacing that muted genes into that a good one. So this kind of research is also going on. I don't know when it will be feasible for common public and for elite population, at least they may get this kind of facilities. And this kind of Alzheimer cause for 60 to 80% of people, and most common dementia problem is type is an Alzheimer. And we have seen these kind of symptoms earlier also. Just click on the vascular. The second most common type of dementia caused by vessels in that blood and brain. And brain having different blood vessels. And if there is a damage in that vessel, okay, that is called vascular dementia. The blood vessel problem, it may be the stroke, the damage in the brain, or the fibers in the brain which were affected, and even high chances are there in vascular dementia. The most common problem, the person who is having the particularly vascular dementia are flowed in thinking. They are very poor in problem solving. They cannot focus most of the time, and they are not able to organize in their daily activities. And more memory loss will be common among those people. The stroke is a primary cause for vascular dementia. And dementia with Lewy body is another type. 5 to 10% of population with this kind of dementia having this. This is an abnormal balloon-like clumsy protein. It is there in that dementia. We can say more common type of it is a progressive dementia. It is a more common thing. Okay. Once in a dream, they think that I'm sleeping. Something is going on. The visual hallucination in the beginning, you see a visual hallucination, you can see these kind of dementia patients. And they are in high problem in that focus and attention. Other signs are they are not able to uncoordination, slow movement, tremor will be the tremor, rigidity, some Parkinson, you can see some, they cannot able to move their body parts. And it is in the brain, there is a deposit of protein, the deposit, this affect our this kind of dementia. And pre-temporal dementia, yes, I think here degeneration of the brain cells. Okay, and that is a primary cause for this dementia. Mostly it is affected the preclinical is in language and behavioral and personality changes we can find, and they cannot make that appropriate judgment, and there will be a problem in their movement and language also we can see. And we can go to the mixed dementia. So mixed dementia is a combination of these, all these we can see, Alzheimer, vascular, Levy, and most commonly the mixed one we can see Alzheimer and vascular dementia are most commonly in the mixed dementia type. And what are the other disorders are linked to dementia are here? Huntington disease, Huntington, and Parkinson, as Sivakuma Sarikar in the beginning itself, he asked, 50 to 80% we can see Parkinson disease, that is a leading cause for dementia. And I couldn't pronounce the first name of the person. Second, Jacob disease. Okay, this is one rare brain disorder. They say that very rare, which has a risk factor for dementia. And when it is a brain area in which that area were affected because of insufficient severe shortage of vitamins, B1, B complex are taken. That we are insisting don't take more, like you take vegetables and greens also. They were heavy drinkers, they are more prone to this kind of dementia. They have a more memory problem and suffer problem solving. And traumatic brain injury, those who are met an accident and those who are in a boxing, football player, and they met an hit on head frequently, and these kind of daily experiences, and they may cause dementia. This to Parkinson also. And normal pressure, and I can see my friend who had an accident, and they say that fluid in the brain which were pressing, and that is the cause for this kind of normal pressure, hydrocephalus. Hydrocephalus means hydro means water. The water will press the brain, and that leads to dementia. And they're walking and thinking may happen, and mostly when they were more this kind of pressure is there from hydrocephalus, they put a stent. Stent is an very rare, highly costly, more costly, and they cannot be able to save the person, and the truth will be take an excessive water, the brain and the liquid, and it will from there they can able to save them. So these are the types. As I said, the time is running, and thank you for listening to me. I'll push that other conditions and other strategies. What are the ways we can able to improve? There are 8 ways we can able to provide support to the dementia patients. One is a medical model, and another one is psychosocial model, and lifestyle model, and another one is a spirituality model. And there are 8 models are there. We'll discuss detail about these models in my second part of my presentation. Again, I record my sincere gratitude to each one of you for supporting our initiative and creating awareness about the different components. Yes. Thank you. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I will make you unmute, and you can ask me a question. Thank you.
Suresh, this is Chandra here.
Yes, Dr. Chandra.
Thank you so much. As usual, you have given a wonderful content for us to think and introspect, or experience whatever it is.
Thank you.
Apart from agreeing to what you said, like it is most genetic to have dementia, but the age group, like for example, my father-in-law's mother, she had dementia, but she was more elder than what he was. So
Yes.
with accepting that in mind, I would like to know what could be your quick tips. You know, sir, it can be you or me or anyone in this world who can be a victim of dementia. But what I wanted to know is like what in your ways we can follow just to postpone this kind of things, or what can be a healthy environment, you know, just a quick tip if you can tell us.
Yeah, yes. As you said in the beginning, I thought of covering the 8 models of taking care of dementia in the next presentation. Even though you asked, I'll try to give an input. One is about, we all know that root cause for noi nadi, noi mudal nadi, other than vayu nadi, vayu pushal. It is an Tirukural in which we know the root cause of the dementia, and then when you look at that, the causes are not presented to you, and risk factor is not yet presented to you. When you study that causes, it's starting from the ages of young ages, early ages itself. Our lifestyle, we have to change our lifestyle, and that is one of the important thing I can say. We can prevent in the beginning itself the well-being practices. And second one is about the support system. I think we thought that it is like a ripple effect. If someone is affected, if there is a physical and cognizant that affect one and another networking component, one is affected and another is also affected. So we have to take care of our well-being. So the holistic well-being practices, we can make it both physical and mental. And that will definitely will help us to overcome the problem at later stages. And medical, now we are having that, one of the interesting thing I can say, brain rehabilitation. And the recent article which started in 2016, and they found that many of us, neurogenesis, formation of new neurons, it is very rare for the people after some time, and particular age, that formation of new neurons is completely stopped. But there are some strategies now they come up with that. One, they found that when they were listening music, okay, that dementia patients alone they conducted, when they were listening music, they found that the degeneration of cells, okay, that decay of cells comes down. For example, in a day, if it is on 50,000 is degeneration, and if they were listening music, it comes down into half, 25,000 only. So this is another thing. And neurogenesis is also happening with that the therapy, the rehabilitation, they given that new input, and they found with some of them, and they admitted that it's not applicable to all the people. I don't know. Maybe there are many reasons, maybe there. And they said we can have brain rehabilitation techniques, and definitely that will help them to form a new cells for compensating that old one. That is has a more energy, more power than we all know that young people, young chaps are having more energy than the elderly population. So new neurons will, one neuron will take care of the work of the 10 old neurons. I hope these are the strategy we can add up. Yes, thank you, Dr. Chandra.
Thank you. I think music has lots of magic to do in our
Yes.
lives. As you always start with music before your session. That's a good one, sir. So there is one question in the chat box that I have seen is like someone is asking for what about Parkinson's, sir?
See, Parkinson is a disease. It's not a dementia, it is a disease where we can see, I think if I give an example for Parkinson, you can see that boxer, who is a renowned boxer, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali is a renowned boxer. He was affected Parkinson, and you can see they cannot be able to manage their body parts. So this is a common thing. In a session, please call me after some. Yes. Sir, senior sir is here, sir. Thank you. Definitely, we'll cover that 8 models, sir. And I thought of it has on 104 slides, sir. That models alone, that strategy alone 104. So I thought of it having that separate session for that, and we will have it, sir. Thank you for yes, we shall. Neuroplasticity. Thank you, Radhamma. And anybody would like to ask the questions? Yeah, just a minute now. Ma'am, you can unmute. Radha, ma'am, you can unmute now.
Um, Sir, it's really a great presentation about dementia. Actually, I have to tell you that whatever I read in my Master of Physiotherapy about neurology, dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinsonism is like a brush up for me to know about it's recollected whatever. But you greatly explained, sir, because this concept, this ideology, everything is very difficult to understand, but you greatly explained. And then I like to ask you some questions, sir. There is many questions in the chat box, but still, when people who are around 50 to 60, when they are keep on doing lot of works, whether dementia will be affect them or not, when they are keep on, when they make them busy, when they do some activities,
Ma'am,
whether
lovely,
dementia will affect or not, sir. Yeah.
ma'am, lovely questions. And I can say that the brain will say we have to take a rest. And we can see most of the dementia problem related to brain. Okay. And we have to give that, for example, when your body need a relaxation, for example, there is a pain in my body. And my mom will that massage and then it will be. For brain, what we are, whether we are taking care of anything, I can say that. And at the age of who need to take, are giving the breathing time for the brain. And most of the time we are engaging in more pressure. I can say stress. Stress is a common cause for, I can say, dementia. It may not be linked, and I can say that a stroke, I say that. When the person is there more stressed, there is a high chances of stroke. It is you see the connection. And we have to give and rest to that our brain, and we have to take what we can say when we were tired. When you take that breathing, and then somewhere in the nature, when you walk for a minute, for 10 minutes, it makes a lot of changes for our thought process. The same kind of practice, I can say that healthy brain management practice, we have to take care of it at the age of 50 to 60. That is the only thing I can say, and which was there in the lifestyle itself. And many of us, we are, I can say, we are going away from the nature. That causes a lot of problem, and we have to be very close to that. And we have to give importance to the, as I said, when I was taking the session on self-compassion, and we have to give some time for taking care of self-love to our brain also. And then that at the age, and they may running for money and other things, and they have to take care of their personal health also. Sir, Srinivasan sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And then another one more question, sir. Can I ask?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, sir. Actually, the time 20 years before, while I'm studying about dementia and all, there is not much patience, sir.
Yes, yes.
25 years, there is not much patient on Parkinsonism, dementia, Alzheimer's. Now the patient ratio is ultimately high. What's the reason from your point of view, sir?
I can say that the negative strategy they are taking up. I never thought that dementia is there in the critical stages itself, and there are many cases also reported, and I thought it is an old. And but they found that the issues of drugs and other things, the side effect of drugs and abuse of use and abuse, overuse and abuse of drugs also another cause, and depression and psychological reasons also there now. So these are the main causes, and I can say that many of the youngsters are not giving some quality time for taking care of their physical health as well as mental health. And our initiative of this webinar to create an awareness about we have to give importance to physical mental holistic one component. These are the reasons.
Srinivasan sir is also contributing something to this, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Words as well.
Yes. Sir,
thank you, Suresh, for that wonderful session. Sorry, I could join a bit late only.
Yes.
But I mean, as the physiotherapist said, you have covered it wonderfully. If you have to take probably people seeking help at the MCI stage, that is minimal cognitive impairment, that is the stage at which people need to seek help so we can modify the course of the disease. But as you rightly said, they come only at the late stage, severe dementia. That's the stage at which come, probably nothing much could be done. Whenever there is an increase in cases that we are seeing, normally there is always a question, is there absolute increase in incidence, or is the awareness increase so more people are coming?
Very true, sir. Very true.
So like if somebody is asking, it is age related. Probably if you take population below 60, then the incidence of dementia will be much less. 70, it increases, 80, 90, it keeps on increasing the percentage. Because the longevity has increased, number one. Number two, we are actually extending the life of people with multiple diseases. So like cardiovascular and metabolic and other things. So like people without proper medical help who would have died, now we are extending their life. So the quality of life and the blood circulation to the brain and nutrition, quite a lot of things matter. And that's probably one of the reasons why we are seeing more cases of dementia. That's one reason probably. As you rightly said, Alzheimer's, it's more genetic, and we have explained the two things very, very clearly. In fact, abroad they are doing an amyloid PET. So when I was looking into the research, this amyloid PET has to be done when the patient is in the minimal cognitive impairment stage, not when he is exhibiting the symptoms of dementia. That time, nothing much can be done. So there are quite a lot of drugs which can modify the course of the disease, the progress of the disease, but you can never reverse it. That's very, very clear.
Yes.
So you cannot stop or reverse the process, but you can probably delay the course of the symptoms.
Yes, sir.
Then you have highlighted again the punch drunkenness. That's what you talked about, Muhammad Ali, what we call chronic TBI, chronic traumatic brain injury, not the acute one. Road accidents and other things we consider different. This is because of boxing or probably the American football or other things where there is a repeated head trauma. This causes it. So Parkinsonism, dementia, it's a complex disorder. All Parkinsonism people don't go in for dementia, but there is a degenerative disorder which produces Parkinsonism and dementia together. The same etiology which causes Parkinsonism as dementia, so we call it Parkinsonism dementia complex. Of course, drugs also induce Parkinsonism, and that induces confusion and other things. And we have also differentiated very well the key areas of difference in Alzheimer's and vascular. These are the two things. Vascular, one is major stroke, other is, as you said, multi-infarct dementia. It is called as multi-infarct dementia, where the infarct happens multiple times, very small, nobody notices it. But when it reaches beyond a critical stage, then when they come with dementia symptoms, when you do an MRI, then you will see, they will term it as multi-infarct dementia. The cause of multiple infarction is because the vascular, small microvascular end areas are not receiving the blood, so that part of the brain is affected.
Yes.
And neuroplasticity is definitely the talk for the past 10, 20 years. In every area, we are talking about neuroplasticity. So as somebody asked, doing something all the time. It's not doing something all the time, but if you keep learning something new. So if you're 50, 60, you want to learn something, you want to learn music, you want to learn a new language. So by that way, you keep your brain active. Definitely you help neuroplasticity and then can prevent or postpone. But if you ask me, like, sir, if I keep doing these things, keep on learning something new, is that a guarantee that I won't get dementia? No. It can only postpone, delay. That is the key factor that we need to understand. So keep learning something new, as I said, enjoy nature. And one of the things in the last 20 years which has caused a very, very major problem is people have lost their sleep and sleep hygiene. So lack of adequate sleep is related to dementia. Very clearly there is a link. So the quality of sleep, duration of sleep and regularity, all these things definitely related to dementia. So a lot of youngsters at 20, 25, if you ask, there are quite a lot of people who have lost their regular sleeping habits and probably modern technology and different working hours, people in the IT field, all these things are causing this problem and will also lead to the problem of dementia. So why it is increasing? Definitely the sleep, and probably as we said, we have moved away from nature. So enjoy yourself, enjoy life, then probably you can escape dementia. That can be the catchphrase at the end. Thank you, Suresh, for the opportunity, wonderful opportunity. Hope I have also explained some of the questions raised in the chat box.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Dear participant, I would like to introduce Dr. Srinivasan sir. He is a renowned psychiatrist and he is very curious to explore that any kind of recent advancement and being here to share his expertise view on dementia. And when I see his name, I little given that pause. I was more cautious. That the next session I will do with that 8 models. I will inform you that time also, sir. Thank you, sir, for your support, and you come up with the new. One of the things I can say, sleep is an important component. I can say most of the youngsters they are spending gadgets even the late night, and I can say they are not having the quality. And then, as I said, we have to take care of in the beginning itself, healthy lifestyle practices and healthy well-being practices that will save us and prevent that this kind of problems later stages. And thank you, sir, for your input. And yes, there are many of them are humble to know about this. Radha Balasundram is a child psychiatrist and physiotherapist, and many of them are here. Thank you, sir, for your valuable input, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, I think we can will conclude the session now, and I have to take my personal vote. Now I request our core team member to propose the vote of thanks.
Again, this is Chandra here.
Yes.
It is an immense pleasure to have a wonderful session, and on a discussion mode, it's more lovely. And it becomes more authentic to hear from our dear Dr. Srinivasan sir also about dementia. Yes. And as Radha ma'am said, you have nicely arranged the thoughts in a very easily understandable way, sir. Thank you for that. I think it will create some more awareness about dementia, and each of us can care our family members in a better and nicer way than what we are doing now. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much for all the thoughtful presentations you have done so far, and wishing to have many more from you. And also we would like to hear more from Srinivasan sir whenever it is possible for him as well.
Yes.
I thank also the participants for making this webinar a successful one. Without your support, we would have not traveled this much far. Thank you for being there for us always. And on behalf of the core team and also on behalf of the organizers and associating partners, I thank each one of you for being present today. Thank you so much for all the support and participation. We will meet you tomorrow, same time, on another topic.
Thank you, Chandra. Ma'am, Rajeshwari ma'am, can you share your contact number, ma'am? I tried to contact you. Well, I am Rajeshwari ma'am. I think ma'am is not able to unmute. Just a minute. Ma'am, can you please take my WhatsApp number, ma'am? I'll reach you there. Thank you.